Hello, North River family and friends. This is Kevin Broyles with the North River Corona Task Force with another update. Wait a second. Didn't we just have an update last week? Yes, we did. But unfortunately, because the current situation in our community changes every week, the task force wanted to give you some further recommendations. Remembering that the top priority is the health of you, your family, and your loved ones. That is our top priority. What's going on? Well, Delta is definitely much more contagious. In the past, when someone had COVID, they might infect 3 other people. With Delta, an infected person can infect as much as 7 more people. We've seen that in our community with a 200% increase in the coronavirus cases in the last 2 weeks alone. Of course, this is correlated also with our schools being open. And so you can see on the graph how dramatically the cases are increasing. So along with that, we are making some recommendations. You may ask yourself, it doesn't seem like there are a lot of recommendation changes being made for the adults. And why is that? That is because you at North River have been wise and thoughtful as individuals. You've not come to church when you've been ill, you've worn your mask, you've respected the distance and the guidelines that we've given you, and we've got a good track record. And there are very few cases where a North River church member has given COVID to someone else. We have more immunity than we did months ago when we were more restricted. We're better educated than we were. We continue to distance, and we have a great facility with airspace and filtration. There are changes we're making and recommending, however, in special events, especially with our out-of-town guests, wanting to keep them safe, we're going to have mask-only events. The children's ministry will have changes, and rightfully so, because they are much more at risk. Youth basketball and volleyball in the Lighthouse will be suspended for a couple of weeks. We're going to restrict the numbers of people in the Lighthouse as well because we have a smaller space. And I'll share with you a North River Kids update. In order to continue to capitalize on our strengths, we need to remember to be cautious, vigilant, and careful. River Kids update. Unfortunately, temporarily, we're going to suspend the elementary classes. The COVID virus has definitely affected this group of children. However, in a couple of weeks, we'll begin a brief 20-minute outdoor worship for families at 10:15 in the morning before our 11 a.m. service. We do want to remind everyone to pre-register your kids 3 and younger for the 11 a.m. service. That has never changed, and that's important so we can prepare to have your kids safely in our classes. The guidelines continue to be offering different options: an outdoor mask optional service, an indoor main auditorium service with masking in the foyer when entering and exiting, a mask only section with an optional separate exit, a mask optional section, distancing throughout the auditorium. We continue to be able to enjoy a virtual worship with thanks to our worship and AV team once again. And there are special services with individual groups happening from time to time. I want to remind you to bring your mask to church. You'll need that. In this day and age, we're not properly dressed for church unless we bring our mask. There will be ushers at each entrance. Please be gracious, be thankful and grateful for each of our ushers who will remind you to put your mask on before you come into the foyer and before the beginning of the service, and when you exit through the foyer at the end of service. I want to remind you what God tells us in Isaiah. He encourages us not to be afraid, but to be courageous and to be confident, because He is our God. He will strengthen us, He will help us, He will hold us with His right hand. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to give you a brief update, and to your health of you and your family.